last time we talked to you a couple years ago, we were talking so much about This Is Us, which is its own hit, but you were secretly, I assume, working. This is the very start of the pandemic, secretly working on this little show, Only Murders in the Building.
I went back and listened to our original podcast, which is 2020.
Yeah, May 2020.
Sid, first question is, when did you start working on Murders in this Building? Were you secretly working on it while we were asking you about other things that you couldn't talk about?
So when did we meet in our last pod?
May of 2020.
Yeah, I was. I had not been offered the job, I think, at that point. But at the start of the pandemic, I started writing my own instrumental classical record, and I say that, you know, I know that sounds pretentious, but it really isn't, because I have very little. I don't have a classical background in music, and so for me, so much of my you know, like, something that I've always been slightly sort of like unsure of with myself in my own music is, am I capable of writing an orchestral score? And I come from the band world, and, you know, so much of my experience was just writing songs. And whenever I did use orchestras, I would have orchestras on my band, and I would write out those parts for orchestra. But it was, you know, in terms of score, I was always hired to sort of like make my own sounds. And like on This Is Us, I record everything here at home, and you know, with the exception of cellos. And so I sort of took that time in the pandemic when all production started sort of like taking a pause, because a lot of productions, everything stopped for a period, to sort of like write what I felt was my own version of an instrumental classical record, a modern classical record. So like influences like Philip Glass, for example, played a big part of my thinking. And then older composers like Eric Satie sort of just like sort of got into my head a little bit. And so I started writing. And then around that time I was writing, I received a call to meet on Only Murders in the Building. And Dan Fogelman, who's one of the producers, who's the creator of This Is Us, is one of the producers of Only Murders as well. And so Fogelman said, I want you to meet John Hoffman, the showrunner, and see if you guys connect. And on that call with John Hoffman, I sort of like played him a couple of pieces that I had been working on. And I'm not a great piano player, but I can write for piano. I can kind of write the themes and the parts as much as I can, which is, you know. And so for me, I sort of did some like half-assed sort of performance for them on Zoom. And
you literally went to a piano on the Zoom and performed?
Yeah, I was like, this is just some stuff I'm writing right now. And he was just like, can you send me that? Can I hear it? And then listen to it after. And he was just like, that's really not, he's like, that's already our show. And actually one of those pieces. Did it go like this? Not that one. It was another one. It was another one called Vantage. And that's actually one that our friend Carol here, who's an incredible pianist who plays on our score. What a nice sort of meeting of all of our
chances of that.